Hi, my name's Carly Reid from CX Today, bringing you all the latest customer experience news from the industry. Now, today we're joined by Martin Taylor from Content Guru. Welcome, Martin.
Hi there, Carly. Pleasure to be here.
Lovely to have you with us today. Thanks for joining us. Now, we're going to be getting to know Martin a little bit better over the course of this exclusive interview. But Martin, could you perhaps tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'm co-founder, deputy CEO of Content Guru. Been around in the industry since the age of 22. So I really don't know anything else other than this field of communications technology and latterly customer experience.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so much, Martin. Now we're going to be talking to Martin about Storm CKS and Storm QM. So Martin, let's get cracking with our questions, shall we?
Sure.
So first question for you today then, Martin. Could you perhaps talk us through some of the features of Storm CKS?
Yeah, Storm CKS is something we started on some years ago now. Originally, it was to be a lightweight CRM platform that worked on our Storm cloud, and the goals were pretty basic. It just had to be a system of record, but it's really expanded a long way beyond then, and it's part of our workforce optimization suite nowadays. So it's about bringing together not just the customer relationship management aspect, but also case management and ticketing. And obviously, we've now moved into knowledge management. So it's about bringing all of those together into a single environment to bring consistent data and this much vaunted 360-degree view of the customer. And from our point of view, that means really sitting on top of different data systems that the customers have already got, and presenting that information in a really usable form that the customer service agent in the contact center can make use of, so we're not having to scrabble around looking in different data systems. And the other aspect is, of course, that these days communication is omni-channel. It's not just a call center anymore. We've got IM chat, we've got WhatsApps, we've got tweets, Facebook Messenger posts, we've got emails coming in, text messages. So if you think about the consumer has long been omni-channel. They've got one of these, and I use that device to send emails, to make calls, can do videos on it, all my social posts. So the expectation is that the organization on the other end of that communication process is in a similar converged position. And of course, if we're instead splitting out all of these different communication streams into different systems, then the poor old agent has really no chance of knowing that call coming in is from the same person who just sent that email 10 minutes ago. Whereas obviously, if I'm using my iPhone or others are available to do the same with one of my friends, of course they would know about that email because they've just received it. So it's really about putting the agent and the organization in a similar position to an individual. And other features are that we've made it browser-based, so you can be anywhere. And of course, over the last year or so, that's mattered ever more. Being in the cloud doesn't really matter then where the agent is. They can use that. And it needn't be just an agent, it can be anybody at all. Can access that same information. So it's about consistent, accurate reporting, automatically seeing all of the customer interactions, regardless of which channel of communication those came in on. So that's a kind of quick whistle-stop tour of CKS.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Martin. And how does it help users become knowledgeable agents?
Yeah, well, the idea is to be a knowledge agent. So if you think of what the user was traditionally, they were answering questions, maybe even going from a script and actually reading off the screen. So nowadays, that kind of interaction, why wouldn't you just do that with a machine? So really, the role of the human is to sit above all of that basic information and really have knowledge and be able to make some even decisions and really give that human touch to customer service. So really, it's about giving data-driven insights about customers. So CKS means that we can integrate with the organization's own data systems so that the agent right on the front line at the point where they need that information, they've got it. So an incoming contact comes in, it pops up all the relevant information about who that customer is. So something we've talked about for about 10 years now is this concept of mass personalization. So you can do that on a population-wide scale. You can have individual data and not just data, but real usable information about that customer, their interaction history, their purchasing history, their medical history, whatever it is that the agent is looking for, depending on the organization context. So being able to see that at a glance, not tabbing around, and of course trying to save that 10 to 15% of time that is spent often putting people on hold while you go and look up information. So if we can give you that information, it's at your fingertips, you can use it, then you're becoming this kind of knowledge agent.
Fantastic. Thank you, Martin. And how can Storm QM deliver better CX and EX?
Yeah, I mean, EX, the idea of the employee experience, that's a relatively new thing. So we've heard a lot about the CX, customer experience, vitally important. It really is the competitive differentiator now. So lots of organizations scrambling to make things good for the customer. A great welcome is obviously what we're looking for. But as someone put it to me a couple of years ago, being the great welcome isn't so excellent when you are the doormat. So really, it's about now what can we do for the employee experience? And again, I think the pandemic era has taught us a lot about that, that we need people to be kind of happy, contented, not wanting to churn, because obviously replacement of churn become more difficult now. And actually, if they can get a better employee experience somewhere else, they're more likely to follow that better EX. So really, we've always focused on improving the employee experience or the agent experience. Uh, uh, the first thing we did, of course, was to have a single pane of glass, so a single interface that delivers all of the different channels of communication in much the same way. So you don't have to learn how to do emails or how Messenger works or what a text message looks like. It's all kind of presented to you as you need it in a single intuitive interface. So less to learn. And if there is the dreaded churn, we're cutting down on agent time to retrain, obviously, replacements. So part of workforce optimization suite now is Storm QM. So it's quality management now. So it's for the managers to look at staff interactions, tracking the agent performance over time. So it's not kind of big brother stuff, but really it is wherever the agent is. And of course, they can be distributed at home around the world now, seeing what they're doing right now, measuring that performance against key performance indicators and business goals. So it's really everything you need as an organization to meet those quality objectives. And often, particularly if you're in, say, business process outsourcing, you are actually contracted to meet these KPIs and quality objectives on behalf of your customer. And the other aspect of Storm QM, of course, is that it integrates into Storm View. And that is where we provide our dashboard from. It's got really comprehensive historical statistical management. So every 5 minutes, very rich information is being uploaded into Storm View. So you can kind of cut and dice all of that information. So really, it's about enabling the organization to identify individual agents who need extra support or training, or the kind of high flyers, so that we can kind of stratify which sorts of contacts are going to go best to which kind of agents. So QM gives you multiple score sheets because obviously you've got different priorities which evolve over time. You might be looking at technical knowledge in some staff, or maybe you're looking at staff in different departments. So QM gives you that overview. And also from the agent side, of course, the employee experience, it's giving them the constructive feedback that they need based on their interactions with the customers and the data we've pulled out about those. So we think QM is, although relatively recent into our portfolio, it's going to be something that is going to be fairly ubiquitous over the next couple of years for our customers.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Martin. And how can AI help to boost interaction data?
Yeah, obviously AI is a very broad field, and the part of it that's the most applicable within this kind of CX environment is natural language processing. So natural language processing applies across written forms of communication, where obviously it's the interpretation of the words, but also now spoken communications. So what it enables us to do is to listen to what's being said and kind of take actions accordingly. So one of the first things we've been doing is using NLP, natural language processing, upstream. So before it arrives into the contact center to a human agent at all. So we're finding out who is calling, what are they wanting, just with natural language dialogue. So it's very different to the old IVR type experience or even the old phone-in-based speech recognizers. So it's really getting down to the meaning of what it is that they're looking for. We then will see, do we have maybe some automated information that we can do? We can serve here to resolve that query. Maybe we send them a link to some online information that they can get. Or do we need to take them to a human? If so, which human? We can get down to that granular level, which queue, how are we going to prioritize this interaction? So that by the time the agent actually pops open the call, not only do they have the information about who it is and what they want, but we've done some pre-processing beforehand. Maybe we've ascertained the urgency or even got some real detail about exactly what the inquiry is all about, so the agent can get straight into resolving it and not wasting time finding out who they are, what they want. And of course, sentiment analysis is another part of the NLP experience. So finding out how they're feeling. And so again, with the agent stratification that's available, you can see who's perhaps best at dealing with different sorts of moods of person. So we might know that maybe I am particularly great at handling really angry people. And we've ascertained lots of anger in this call. So let's put it over to Martin and he'll deal with it. Equally, we might know, okay, poor old Martin, he dealt with that really angry guy just now. And so let's not give him another one of those till maybe 3-4 hours time. So we're not kind of dumping him with all these tough calls. Or equally, I might be a newbie. I've just arrived. Let's kind of spare me the baptism of fire. So by using NLP, by using sentiment analysis upstream, we can again improve that employee experience just as we can the agent experience, the user experience of the actual customer consumer. I suppose the last point I'd put on there is around, again, cross-referencing back into those KPIs, the key performance indicators. So we can get much more sophisticated. We're not just talking about average handle time, but we can have many more nuanced and granular metrics for measuring the success of those interactions.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Martin. And why do you think it's so important that businesses choose the right call recording and call reporting solution?
Yeah, well, call recording's always been a little bit of a kind of Cinderella activity. It goes on, and then the recordings are kind of maybe looked at later, maybe they're not. So recording has gone through something of a metamorphosis really over the last couple of years. Firstly, it's recording not just of the spoken voice, but of these other channels again. So you've got this omni-channel aspect. You've also got the fact of the recording of the screen as well as the voice, and actually putting those two together gives a much literally fuller picture of the interaction. So we may have a low scored voice call, and then when we look into it, it's because maybe I'm checking the sports pages and maybe not giving this my full attention. So having that extra visibility is very important. And of course, recordings and that kind of information about customers, that really is the lifeblood for many organizations. It's their kind of key asset in many ways. So why wouldn't you want to be making the most of that? One interesting feature that's come in recently is stereo recording, of course. So we're able now to split the recording of the agent side and the customer side. So by dividing those, we can kind of be listening to what each party is saying. So perhaps on the agent side, we're seeing, are they saying the right things? Did they put in the disclaimer? Or maybe they're trying to sell a car. Did they mention trading in? Did they mention doing a test drive? So those kind of scoring aspects. And again, from the consumer side, are they sounding happy? Are they saying the sorts of things we want? Are they sounding kind of stressed, maybe angry, or already happy? So splitting the two out gives a much better view of the conversation. And of course, another thing we look at is the overlaps. Are they talking over each other? That might suggest arguing. It might suggest, again, an impatient agent needing some retraining. So recording is giving us a much better insight than we've ever had before. And of course, predictive analytics are a part of this recording as well now. So empowering the contact centers to use proactive communications, so based on predictions and personalizing interactions on customer preferences. So if you've got recording, it's generating data that you can use not just to analyze what went on, but to kind of take control of what's going to happen. So I think that recording and it's morphing into predictive analytics, that's definitely one to watch over these next months.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Martin. And last question for you today then. Any advice for businesses that are looking to invest in better CX?
Yeah, I mean, CX, as I say, it's never been so important, and it's moving now from years of being this, cost center, focus on cost reduction, really kind of almost just operational level reactive planning, to now it's got C-level attention. It's, you're an insurance company, and your customer experience will make or break you because everyone else has a policy, they have a premium, they're really very often the services and the products are very similar. What differentiates is that customer experience. But I think probably the thing for this coming year, and Gartner, the analysts, have summed it up quite well, is this idea of the total experience. So it's the customer experience, the employee experience, the user experience, and the whole kind of coming together to transform organizations. So for a full 10 years now, everyone's been working on this digital transformation. I think what we've got now is the kind of maturation of that into this total experience. So I definitely think there's never been a greater need to invest in this type of technology and also people. So it's not just a technology play, it's about bringing your people along with you, because again, along with the customer data, those people are your greatest asset. So it's about getting NLP, sentiment analysis, getting accurate predictive tools in there, really making the most of that data whilst working with it in a very secure way. So yeah, definitely there's never been a more important time to deliver better CX, whatever kind of organization you are.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Martin. Now, sadly, that's all we have time for today, but special thanks to Martin from Content Guru for joining us. Thank you again, Martin.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Not at all. Lovely to have you with us. Now, if you enjoyed our exclusive interview with Martin from Content Guru, then please do share our video on social media. It's always greatly appreciated when you do so, and do subscribe to our channel as well. So from myself and from Martin, it's goodbye for now. I'm Carly Reid from CX Today. Thank you for watching.